Sunday, the 20th of October. Cooking breakfast. What are you cooking, Jake?
Mushies, a couple of little bell peppers, capsicum, whatever you want to call it. Just have some eggs with that.
So this is Camp Kaiguna Blowhole. It's a bit chilly this morning. Wearing my jacket. It's overcast. It's a bit breezy. It actually died off during the night. That was nice. So let's pack up and go and see the Kaiguna Blowhole. See if it's blowing off chops yet.
Give us a blowy.
Is it breathing at you?
Well, I do feel a cold sense. It almost reminds me of a Namahold type thing.
So the sign says this blowhole cave is 1/2 metre to 1.5 metres in height. And it says that Nullabor caves are some of the heaviest breathing caves in Australia. Jake's going down there, naturally.
It's very cold air coming out. It's very cold. Star, grab on. Help me.
So also, the Nullabor plain is one of the driest holes on the planet. Well, maybe not planet, but rainfall is less than 250 mil a year. And it says they get sporadic, heavy rains maybe only 3 times a year. So it's not very weathered, and that's why it's so flat and there's not a lot in the way of trees. So the Kaiguna Blowhole wasn't worth writing home about, but there you go, there it is anyway. I've had a look at the map on the GPS, and there's so many caves just off to the sides of the highways. So I think today is, as well as checking out Eucla, going to be the day for cave exploring. I'm going to go and see if we can check out some caves. I'm just going to the Central Western time zone, so we've just lost 45 minutes out of our day. It is no longer 9:05. That would make it, what, 10 to 10. Damn, we're not going to be covering as much ground in as good a time as we thought, bro.
No.
So we had to poke around for Capstan Cave, but no luck. Even put the drone up there to scout around. Still couldn't see it from the drone, from the air. Oh well, there is, I think it's called Cocklebiddy Cave, but that one's closed to the public. So we'll give this a miss. Can't waste too much time messing around looking for this thing. I'm sure there'll be other caves.
Of course it's unstable. How do you think caves are made? Because rock is unstable. Oh dude, there's a snake curled up on that rock.
I was just going to say maybe we shouldn't go in the cave because there's a snake in it. That bird scared the shit out of me. It came right past my head. But But Jake thinks we should go cuddle the snake. I think we've determined that it is a python. I'm no professional snake identifier, but it's got that, it looks carpet python like, really, doesn't it?
Also looks kind of deflated.
It does. We tossed a few rocks down there, not to hit it, just to see if it reacted, and it didn't. Closer. Pretty snake. It's just staying still, wrapped up on that rock.
You can see just in the back there, it's got an old piece of skin on it, still wrapped around. We're probably disturbing its hunting. The birds probably don't know it's there because it hasn't moved. It's waiting for something to land on it and then...
Well, I think we're all caved out now. Let's put some K's in on the tarmac. Next stop, Eucla, I reckon. It's about midday.
Did you know there's a spot here called Boring Rock Hole?
We don't want to go there then. So we just came through Majura Pass, where the highway comes down through Hampton Tablelands onto the Roe Plain. Two different levels where two different seabeds occurred. One's 45 million years old, I reckon that'll be the top one, and then the other one's 15 million years old. Pretty cool, but right now we're at the Majura Pass Roadhouse. We've got a quarter of a tank of diesel left, maybe good for 200 Ks. So I had a look at the price of diesel to see if it was reasonable. $1.44. Oh, geez, that's a bit better than Perth. But then I looked a bit closer and the actual thing that shows the price of the diesel had cut the top of the 9 off. $1.99 a litre. No thanks, let's go. Lunch today was at a nice spot. Just came across from Mildura Pass, and you come back up onto the scarp. Come through a fence, and the gate is an ingenious method of keeping stock in. You just unhitch this thing and lift the bar, and the whole fence comes up and you drive under it. And then there's a fun little scramble to the top of the hill. Just sit down, have lunch up here overlooking the plain. Very nice. We're so insignificant in this world. It's huge. Down, up, down, up, come on, one more time. Down. It is a snake. Hey. Down. Snake number 2 for the day.
He stood up. He's still standing to attention.
Oh, let's back this up. You're coming off the dash and you're going to see another snake. We've just spotted snake number 2 for the day.
What is it, red-bellied black snake? Yeah, that's a danger noodle. That's a proper one. He's got that real small, sleek looking head that's just gonna nip you.
This is as close as we get to the ruins of the old Eucla telegraph station by vehicle. I mean, if we were reckless asshole hooligans, we could blast through this vegetated sand dune, but we're not. So we park up the patrol and we walk. I can tell where the ruins are going to be by those big trees.
Yeah, they wouldn't have grown here naturally. Well, I mean, they did, but you know what I mean. I mean, do you?
I'm inside the ruins of the old Eucla telegraph station. And last time I was here, I was a kid, maybe 10, maybe 12. And then I think it was mostly under sand, but you know, sand's always shifting around, so it's kind of uncovered at the moment. So I don't have any dates for it, unfortunately. I think it's late 1800s when the government was pushing across a telegraph line from the eastern states to Western Australia. Because before the telegraph line, the only way to get messages across was, you know, mail, boats. I don't think there was much of road or rail then either. Then they put in a series of these telegraph stations, so this was a manual repeater station, and then they could now, probably by Morse code I'd say, get messages from Eastern Australia to Western Australia in a couple of seconds. But people had to live in these remote, isolated little communities, which were pretty much just here to keep communications going. So I read that in the 1890s a rabbit plague came through and they ate all the vegetation off the sand dunes, and then the sand dunes became mobile and swallowed the town site, which is why Eucla is now up on the hill. And there's just these ruins here, slowly getting swallowed up by sand. I'd really love to be able to do like a tour from west to east and cover all of these towns that service that telegraph line with some real history as well. I can't do it now because I just don't have the time, and it'll make these videos so long. But if something like that is something you'd be interested in, you know, make a comment. We'll see if we can gauge some interest. So that'd be fun, wouldn't it, Jake? Covering the whole telegraph thing.
Yep. And only recording it with Morse code. Just like the old school days.
That's a cool idea.
Alex tells me there's the old Eucla jetty out the back, so we're going to go check that out. It makes sense. This place would have been easier to get to by boat back then.
I don't know jack diddly squat about the jetty. I read somewhere that it used to be 100 meters long, and it's a very shallow sort of bay, so I guess it would have had to extend out enough for the ship to be able to dock and do its thing, offload the goods that kept this station alive. So with the jetty we conclude day 2 of travel. We covered bugger all K's today, hey Jake?
Yeah, we're just cruising along, weren't we? Just having a ball.
Just couldn't stop checking stuff out.
Yeah.
So we got from Cocklebiddy to Eucla, which I think is like 310 Ks. That's a grey Nomad spec. We debated for a little bit about whether to camp here at Eucla. I had originally sort of thought maybe go to the homestead, Cunalda I think it's called. But here I'll give you a little bit of an explanation of what I'm thinking. Thanks for the beer, Jake. Jake's cooking up hamburgers again.
Yeah, we're just trying to get the fresh goods in and out of the system before we cross the border and lose a bunch of stuff that we've paid good money for. Okay.
So while Jake's cooking burgers, let's talk about what's happening here. So here's our maps we've been using, and we are here, Eucla. As you can see, 5K. So yeah, we're about 15 Ks away from the border there. Border village roadhouse in here, so we'll fill up there. They'll steal all our fruit and vegetables, and then from there
you've got like Australian version of the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, that, or it's that symbol from the Harry Potter movies. Remember that? The Deathly Hallows Horcrux thing?
Or it's the...
Okay, we're lingering too long on a random triangle. Let's keep going. Oh yeah. Oh, oi. Canalda Shearing Shed and Yards, Canalda Homestead. So we'll go from the main highway up to here, across the old air highway, check out some old tanks and stuff, and we'll probably come down about here back onto the main highway. And we plan on doing that as a day trip because we'll have to hit the highway and go along to, I'd say, Nullabor Motel. Nullabor Motel is where we should be able to upload the footage for tomorrow. So we'll stay around here somewhere, upload that.
Have a chin wag, cup of tea.
So I'm going to have to sit in the passenger seat and finish my edit tonight, which I haven't started. So after dinner, I'll start the edit, I'll finish the edit, I'll get it all ready to go up, then we'll drive up to Border Village. That's where I'll upload it, so it'll be scheduled for tomorrow night. It's a lot to think about. So on that note, thanks for joining us on day number 2 of the adventure. I can tell I'm going to lose track of these real quick. And we'll see you tomorrow in day 3 at 5 PM Western Standard Time, 7ish PM Eastern Time.
Oh, hold on. When we go to South Australia, is that still Western Standard Time?
Oh yeah.
Things have gone forward 45 minutes.
They have. I'll still do it in Western Standard Time because I know that.
So you're still going to see this 45 minutes before
other people.
Where we are. Yeah.
Before we even see it, but we already saw it because
so we're sending it back in time.
You get the gist.
Yeah.
We'll see you there.